Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulullah. I want to give a big welcome and thank you all. MashaAllah, a great crowd, great turnout. I want to express a great deal of gratitude to Sheikh Yasser. You know, he had such a brilliant khutbah today about the signs of a hard heart. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. And he also talked about the remedies of a hard heart. And inshallah, if you missed it, you can catch it on the Al Rashid Facebook page. His khutbah is there. And for the ones who are present today, I give you glad tidings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes well for you. For He has put softness in your heart, and He destined for you to be present here at this place and time in a gathering of remembrance of Him, to allow your heart to receive, inshallah, openings by way of Sheikh Yasser's eloquence and his light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen for you to show your concern and your love for that part of the ummah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala particularly loves. The ones who are impoverished, in poverty, and the ones who have been tested with such a great test. Alhamdulillah, by participating with Islamic Relief, I've been blessed to be in the service. I've traveled in the service of orphans and widows, and our brothers and our sisters, and our mothers and our fathers, alhamdulillah, in Kenya and Bosnia, Turkey, Jordan, and Pakistan. I just wanted to share a reflection with you about the orphans and the widows. I was fortunate to be able to visit a widows empowerment program in Ramtha, Jordan, right on the border of Syria, as well as in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. MashaAllah, these mothers of orphans, they receive training, usually sewing and tailoring, so that they can earn a livelihood. And the younger children, they receive daycare services there. But a very interesting component is also psychosocial support initiatives. I sat in on a couple of these sessions where the psychologists were teaching them on assertiveness training, how to deal with grief, anxiety and depression, and anger management. The type of counseling and skills that they were receiving are comparable to what is taught here, but there it was even better. It was better because it included a spiritual component. Quran, seerah, dhikr, and the good suhbah of each other. I was impressed by what I saw, but I wanted to hear from the widows themselves. I asked them, what benefits are you receiving here at the center? And what's amazing is that actually the widows in Pakistan and the widows in Jordan, they said the same thing. They felt grateful that their child was in the orphan sponsorship program. They were receiving funds. These children were able to go to school. But as a widow, they felt alone. Even in the midst of people, she always felt alone. Her family and her society treats her differently, stigmatized, almost second class. She felt that her voice wasn't heard, a faceless shadow. She would meet the other widows at the training center, but they didn't even think to share what they were going through with each other. They kept it all bottled up. They didn't think that anyone else would understand. They were isolated. She felt isolated. She felt depressed. She felt broken. She felt sometimes even hopeless. They've lost their loved ones. They've lost their husbands. They've lost their possessions. They lost their communities. They lost their sense of belonging. She would spend some nights crying, and she had to force herself to get up and run the household. Anger would sometimes get the better of them, and they would take it out on their children. This is a very similar story that I heard. But the psychosocial support program and skills training center changed their lives. By sharing their feelings with the other widows in the group, it was as if they had their own group therapy, knowing that others understood them and they had a shared experience. Their psychological training would give them the assertiveness so that they could advocate for themselves with dignity and honor. They found peace, encouragement, and comfort in learning the Quran together. Learning a skill and trade gave them self-confidence. She said that even her children, by seeing her achieve something, the children felt that they themselves could accomplish their goals. She could more effectively manage her emotions, and the children also mirrored her akhlaq. And she said the staff at the Islamic Relief treated them better than sisters. And then they started making dua for Islamic Relief, the supporters of Islamic Relief, and for all of you. Because you looked after them and their children when no one else did. You were the answer to their prayers, and they prayed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would look after you and your family. And they prayed for all of the supporters. We are so lucky to be here in this gathering, to benefit from the spiritual station and sohbah of the Shaykh. And for those that you know that were unable to come here today, spread the words of the Shaykh, be the means of softening hearts, be the voices of the orphans and the widows. Share how Islamic Relief is just a tool to uplift, to help us uplift this ummah. It's about your faith in action, and it's about your state with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah Azza wa Jal continually choose us to perform deeds that are pleasing to Him, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala soften your hearts. Assalamu alaikum, jazakallah khairan.